I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Yeah, that's on. That's already on deck. You got it. Whole shit. What up? What up? What up, people? What's good? Salute, salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at @6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. What's good, everybody? Sixth element of hip hop. You already know. I'm your host, Reno Noir. This is the co-host, Stu Dog. Where you at, Stu? What's good, man?
Oh shit! Damn, there we go. Got to turn my camera. Good. We good.
Representing Brooklyn today, guys. We got the Biggie. I got the Biggie. Stu got the Brooklyn, New York sweater. We repping BK today for some reason. I don't know why. We just are.
That's how we get down.
That's how we get down.
That's how we get down. Somebody got to represent Brooklyn.
You know, sometimes. Peace, slay. Peace. We got trying to find it. We got the whole Andor episode 7 breakdown ready for y'all, because hell of an episode. And they are doing that they're definitely doing the 3-episode thing, because this is the first episode in the next 3-episode arc. So we got 7, then we'll have 8 and 9, should round it off. But dope episode. And that's kind of pretty much what we got for y'all today. Corey in the building. What's up, Corey? Before we jump on that, Kanye West is at it again with the silliness on Drink Champs. But this is a hip hop and comics show, so in the sort of vein of hip hop, we got to cover this because Nori with the show Drink Champs, after he watched it and was sober and like soberly watched the interview back, he was like, "Whoa, I can't believe I let him say all that." Yeah, he took it down, but this was his apology, sort of.
The rapper turned podcaster joined Hot 97's Ebro in the Morning on Monday, October 17th, to discuss the fallout from the interview, which he called a learning experience. Nori apologized to anybody that was hurt by Kanye's words and actions, and to anybody who felt like I let them down. He also pointed out that he did check Ye numerous times during the interview, but admitted he could have controlled the conversation in a more responsible way.
I want to say that I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I can sit there. I can say, yo, you know, that's only Kanye West. It's only what he said. But I have a responsibility when I have an audience. When I watched myself, I was embarrassed. I was like, wait a minute. What did you just let him say? I want to sit back and say, I feel responsible for letting it go.
As for how he do things differently if he had the opportunity, Nori said,
I would have been a journalist that I am. I would have probably not drunk. I would have probably stayed sober the whole time and just stay on the subject. Because I still believe, you know, people have a right to speak, you know, whether it's something that you agree with or not. But you have a right to also, you know, check them on it. Check them immediately.
Yeah.
That's what I would.
Yeah.
And I love it.
As for why the episode was released in the first place, Nori said he initially didn't agree with the powers that be trying to take it down because he wanted to defend freedom of speech and empathizes with feeling blackballed by the music
I feel that too.
but has since changed his mind. Now that I think about it, sometimes freedom of speech just ain't free.
Sometimes it ain't free. But yeah,
we already know it. We already know it ain't free. We know that.
Freedom ain't free.
Yeah.
Freedom is free. Ain't none of this shit free. Don't take it for granted, y'all. Use it wisely.
I mean, if he wanted to promote, like, it's one thing if you promote it on your own channel, but to come on somebody else's channel and promote it, that's different. Like Nori's channel ain't about that, and you know, it just draws negative influence attention to his channel. So I get why he took it down, but at the same time, he did the right thing. He stood up for himself, and he should have. Because, like you said, I didn't see these things. This was my guess. Right. We've had, you know, like remember Geraldo Rivera when they had Lito's Way, when they had the when they had the white supremacists on there. It's
Yeah,
the same thing. It's the same thing, man. And
yeah,
Nori's right. If he wanted to come on there and say that, y'all judge him for that, but
yeah.
it wasn't me.
And to be fair, it's not like Kanye is a white supremacist. We not saying that. But
No.
he made some anti-Semitic, remarks, and you just can't do that, man. Not on not on live. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like he wasn't saying nothing that other people haven't said or other people don't think or whatever. He wasn't saying nothing like outlandish. It was just like you said, Stu. He was saying it kind of maybe on the wrong in the wrong platform or something like that. But uh he's on medication. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the bottom line. He's got a mental illness. We know this. You know what I'm saying? And I feel for him and I got respect, because Kanye, I'm always gonna respect him as an artist. Because whether definitely them first three albums were classics, like it ain't no question. Um, but mental illness can take the art from the artists and shit like that. So we, maybe the last few albums, several albums wasn't very hip hop or whatever, but you know, it is what it is.
It was dope. Last few albums was dope.
I
It's
mean, some
just that.
people just thought they wasn't really hip hop, but I
Listen,
liked it.
I'm listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't say any of it was. KRS once asked the question, and it's relevant now. It was relevant then, but it's even more relevant now. Remember when he came out with Flashlights, and it was like the number one song that he got an award for that.
Yeah,
And KRS said it.
exactly.
He started singing it. He was like Flash Lights. He was like, is that really hip hop or isn't it? And he was like, come on. He had a point, and you got to ask that question. So when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to hardcore hip hop and hardcore hip hoppers, they know what real hip hop is. But you
Yeah, I
got
mean, not
the
hardcore hip hop, but hip hop. Like his first three albums was hip hop. People are saying the latest ones are more like orchestral. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm
well,
not saying the difference
he's
between rap,
well.
hip
I could
hop,
tell you.
commercial.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing about Kanye West that I do know. I don't care what you say about him, how crazy he is, medication, and everything. If there's one thing I know he's serious about, is he's serious about his faith. Now,
Right.
when you start talking about his, God and his faith, he's serious about that. He don't never backpedal on that. He don't never you can't say nothing wrong to him about none of that. He let you know where he stands on that. But as far as everything else, it's questionable. His
Mhm.
music, is it hip hop? Yeah, yeah. It's a different form, but it's me personally. The stuff that he puts out, like, cause Kanye will change an album, man. That's the thing I hate.
That's what I'm
He'll
talking
put
about,
out
Lito.
something, yeah. He'll put something out, and then he'll change it, and then you be like,
Yeah.
huh? Why did he change that? Like,
Mhm.
like I was telling you about the video I seen the other day. He was playing some music. The music was hot, but if he, I don't know, man. The Life of Pablo is a perfect example. When he put that out, he changed the album like 3 times.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pablo, all of that shit. Yeah, Corey's right. Cube, yeah, he dragged Cube into it by saying, that Cube was, I guess he was talking about the Jerry Heller stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So he was like, Cube know what I'm talking about. Cube don't like the Jews too, that kind of thing. To paraphrase, right? So, and then Cube came out. He's like, "Hey, man, I don't even know why he brought my name into this shit. Like, I'm not anti-Semitic. I never have been. So I don't know what he's
Right,
talking about."
right. And if Cube has something to say, I'm gonna keep it a buck. He gonna
That's
say it. Like we would, yeah. Like
if
we
I
gonna
had been
know.
you would know it. Yeah,
Yeah, we
and
gonna
you know
know.
that
We gonna know if Cube had a problem with anybody Jewish. We definitely gonna know that
with
because he
anybody.
definitely
Period.
not gonna.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, he ain't hiding that. Yeah, Cube ain't hiding that. One thing I remember Ice Cube said one time that when he came in the game, that he was gonna stay the same, and that regardless to how big or small he ever got in the game, the one thing that he was always gonna be pleased with was himself. And he
Mm-hmm.
said that I never let the game change me, no matter how big I got, no matter how much money I made or didn't make. He was like, I just wanted to say 20 years from now, 10 years from now, I'm still happy with myself. I'm still who I am before I got this way, before I became rich or whatever. And Cube had stayed consistent, bro. He's still the same Cube we know from day one. He never
Right.
changed.
He never did. He always kept it G.
Yeah.
Cube always kept it G. And so yeah, you can't you can't ever put words in somebody's mouth that has always been outspoken like that. So because if you do, they just gonna be like, look, everybody know how I get down. So if that was the case, you would have heard it from me.
Right. Chuck D is another one. You know how you get down. You know,
Peace,
it's
Herbert.
just Herbert Carpenter piece. So it's just Kanye is going through something right now, man. Um, I don't know what it is, but normally before he put out an album, this is what he does. He draws attention to himself and he drop an album. It's same format every time, bro.
You think this is? You think he about to drop an album?
Yeah, he about to put something out. He always do it, bro.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, he'll draw attention to it. So he start putting out random videos, making appearances, and then next thing
Mhm.
you know, boom, he got an album, some music. But I could tell you one thing: it ain't nobody in this shit that don't want to work with him.
No, I mean, yeah, you can't exactly. Yeah, you're right, Herbert. He does. He needs help, man. And I think I was saying this with somebody who was saying something about him being crazy or whatever, and I was like, nah, man, he's not crazy. He eccentric because when you a billionaire, you're not crazy. You eccentric, which means he probably ain't gonna get no help because everybody just gonna be like, well, when you got that much money, can't nobody manipulate
But,
you or do anything. You're
but he
not gonna do
said,
nothing you don't want to do. So
but he said it though. He said it. When I watched this one video he put out the other day, I forget. I don't
really
know what
on
the
him.
name of it. It was on his channel. He said that. He said, "Listen, I ain't trying to listen to nobody. I don't want to hear nobody's opinion that's broker than me." I said, "Damn." It's like, damn.
Right.
So
Like,
it's like, so we know how he getting down. He was like,
and you can
if you
tell.
if you broker than me, you can't even give me an idea.
And that's the bipolar in him because you hear him talking about comparing himself to Moses and these things and all these biblical people. These was people that didn't care about money and Yeezys and fashion and big, Balenciagas and all of that stuff. So which one are you? You know what I'm saying? He need the balance, man. He need to find the balance that
Right.
we
So
all.
so what do you think? So what do you think is the solution for all this, man? Like, you think
Man,
somebody just need to? You think he need to come on the show and talk to us? You think he need to talk to somebody else on their show? I mean, what is it, man? What do you think?
nah, man, look, if I had the answer, I'd be rich too. So, I can't front like I know the answers because I ain't got the answers, Sway. You feel me? So
You wasn't put here. I get it. You wasn't put here to figure out what other people
I
don't
ain't
know.
got the
I get
answers,
that.
Sway.
I get that.
But
I get.
what are you gonna do when somebody's mentally ill and at the same time a billionaire? Let's just call it what it is. What can you do? It's on them, and they're gonna be, because what I mean by that is like when you to that level, you're surrounded by yes people, and people are gonna do what you want always. You're never gonna no one's gonna tell you what you need to hear. They're always telling you what you want to hear. So yeah, he really needs somebody around him that don't give a fuck about his money and don't give a fuck about all that stuff, and just is gonna tell him, look, this is what you need to hear, bro. But he's so egotistical and narcissistic that you can't break through that shell with reasoning and logic. You can't be like, look, this is what you need to do and woo 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 woo, because it's like he said many times, you can't tell me nothing. Well, all right,
Yeah.
can't
And
tell
like
you
he
nothing.
said, yeah, like he said, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody broken than me. No ideas, no nothing. No,
You know what I
don't.
mean? It's
Yeah.
sad, really. It's sad because he was, such a dope, talented musician, and he was putting out such great, like he was changing the game, and it's just sad to see that happen because it happens. It happens to people in all walks of life. They can be on the top of their game, and that mental illness strike, and everything can just come down like a house of cards, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
The
Well,
problem is no matter what
okay.
people are. The problem is no matter what people are going to tune into the Adventures of Ye, we can't just shrug his stuff off. So it's only going to fuel his ego. Basically, yeah. I mean, that's it. Everything is either fuel to the ego or a threat to the ego.
I know a lot, but I know a lot of young kids admire him. Like people like our age that's in this chat and all that. We the ones that are asking these questions and having adult conversations. But when you talk to somebody like Blaze, your son's age, my son's age,
I think he's
they
out of
kind
his
of
mind.
they do what they kind of admire him too. Like they know he out of his mind, but they
Yeah,
admire his
they
tenacity. That's basically what it is. They admire his tenacity more than anything.
yeah.
And that's when you lost it. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. True
Yeah,
too.
that is exactly what. That's absolutely right. And because and you can always, you can't always, but there's a lot of times there is a trigger. There's a trigger, a catalyst that sets off that mental illness because it's a dormant thing. Like we don't know. A lot of people have dormant schizophrenia, dormant personality disorder, or whatever that just hasn't reared its head yet. And that can either be triggered by puberty, it could be triggered by trauma, it could be triggered by the loss of a loved one, whatever, something, some major event, and or it can just be something gradual over time. It's usually a mix of both. But yeah, you could tell I've done a lot of studying on this because I got mental illness issues and stuff in my family, so I know a lot about it. But yeah, it is what it is.
It is, man.
When you
I just hope he gets.
sitting on
I
a
hope
belly,
he.
when you're sitting
I
on
hope
a
he gets.
belly, it don't really matter. But I hope he does get help.
Yeah, I do too, man. I really do. I mean, you can't. It's only been so long, man, before he either say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, and then everything comes tumbling down. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But when he's out of the spotlight, he's out of the spotlight. But when he go back in, he in all the way, baby. So
Lost
I,
in the
I
wilderness.
do, yeah, I do believe that when his ex-wife, and all of them are watching, I do believe they know what's up. They know he's sick, and I
Mm-hmm.
know that they probably tried to help him, but he don't want it. So
Yeah,
there's nothing you could do.
you can't.
You know what I mean? And like you said,
You
he got
could.
money, so the people that's surrounding him are, they're not saying nothing. They're getting paid, so they ain't saying nothing. They're just going along with the program. That's sad.
Yep. And the thing is, though, and also another thing about that is, shit. Let me fix this camera. Another thing about that is, a lot of people are making money off the fact that he is not right, the fact that he is doing this crazy shit, and not being so. That's another thing. There's people that are actually want to keep him in this position, want to keep him at that level, and they're making money off him being like that. So that's why I mean it's too much money involved. It's too many people involved. You know, it's tough at that level because it's tough. It's tough at both. It'd be tough. It's tough if you're dirt poor because you can't get any help. You can only get like help from the state, the free stuff, and does nothing for anybody. And then if you're mega famous and mega rich like that, it's also another issue. So yeah, you got to kind of be normal to get normal. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, that's true, bro. But I mean, like I said, man, I feel as if sometimes, and then I feel sometimes too at the same time that they kind of pick on Yeezy. I feel they kind of pick on him too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
That
do.
they kind of yeah, that they kind of come after him, hardcore sometimes. But I don't know. He didn't matrixed every bullet they didn't shot at him.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, he make himself an easy target too.
he do.
You know, but he, again, when you that rich, it don't really matter.
He said it don't matter, huh? Right now.
bro, he can go recluse and live the rest of his life happy, and it wouldn't matter to nobody. And you know, listen, man. They say money can't buy happiness, but it can damn sure buy privacy. It can buy, all the ingredients for happiness. Is just on you to be happy. But yeah.
I mean,
So
but I think in a way he is happy
yeah, in
because
a way.
remember at one point he had a lot of debt. He was really messed up mentally and and then when he got out of debt and took care of all his business, he's been debt free ever since, but he's been more vocal ever since.
Right. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Well, so did you see Andor?
Did I ever?
I'm
Yes, sir.
telling you, bro. Hell of an episode. I feel bad for anybody that's not able to watch this show or hasn't been watching this show or just doesn't know because you are missing out. This is definitely the best thing that we've seen from Star Wars in a long time. Many, 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 a year. And yeah, look, we are beyond the halfway point in Star Wars series in Andor, with episode 7 hitting Disney Plus today after successfully stealing millions and millions of credits from the Empire as part of the major rebel heist. We got Cassian Andor turned down an offer to betray his new allies and run off with the money. And distraught after, killing his would-be partner in crime, he goes it alone again. And we know he'll be back with the rebels eventually, though. But since this is all part of his journey to becoming the morally questionable hero that we meet in Rogue One, that eventually sacrifices himself for the good of the rebellion, and on the galactic capital Coruscant, Cassian's past crimes have also drawn the attention of the Imperial Security Bureau supervisor, Deidre Miro, and who's been, dragged into work after hours as the Empire prepares for the horrible totalitarian security lockdown following the heist, which is all part of their plan. Disgraced ex-security officer Cyril Karn is also nursing a grudge against our main character. And I don't know what's going on with this dude Cyril, man. But none of them know that the rebellion is being quietly run by Senator Mon Mothma and the recruiter Luthen Rail. And so Andor, this takes place 5 years before Rogue One, which revealed what happened immediately before the Star Wars movie A New Hope. So if you guys are, willing to hear the spoilers, here we go. So this episode's called Hang, and the episode's final major moments find Cassian on a nice beach. He's just chilling in the world of Neamos or Nimos. I don't know how you say it. Where he's got a nice crib. He's chilling. He's got the lady with him, and they're just doing their thing. And he's going by the name Keith Gergo, which is hella deep Star Wars shit. I'll get into maybe later in a minute, but geek out for real. But unfortunately, he's soon reminded that escaping the Imperial oppression is impossible, right? So he's on, his morning stroll to the store, and one of those the brown stormtroopers from the beige ones from Rogue One, called the Shore Trooper, is chasing some guys down, down the beach, and they sort of run past Cassian, and he, sort of fits the demographic of that group of people that were running, and so they kind of mistake him for being one of the bad, one of the people that are involved in that. And the Shore Trooper falsely accuses him of being part of the anti-imperial activity, and then orders a passing KX droid. So we finally get to see K2SO, which was we've all been waiting for. So that was an awesome thing this episode. And then the droid, he tells him, hang on to this one for me, right? And the droid doesn't sort of grasp the meaning of the casual phrasing of hang on to him. and he thinks he means to hang him, and so he just
They took
grabs him
it.
by the
Yeah.
neck, right, and
Oh
pins
yeah,
him
he
up
took
against
yeah.
the wall.
He took it literally. Yeah, he took it literally and hung him.
And my cameras loves me right now. Thank you, sir.
Mm, mm.
What the fuck is going on?
Yup.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Your camera's like KSL right now.
Yeah. Well, all right. You know what? What if I just did this with no camera? Let me
Let's
see.
get it popping.
Let's get it
Let's get it
popping.
popping. Get it popping.
Boom. Camera free. Now what, camera? So, unable to grasp the trooper's casual phrasing, the droid sort of hangs him by his neck against the wall, and the KX droid's just sort of looming over him on the beach promenade, and he's just like Cassian's first encounter with the Imperial KX droid that he eventually reprograms into KSO. So Hang, the droid says, the droid's just like repeating hang, and but aside from the inability to breathe, it likely strikes an additional nerve for Cassian because his adopted father Clem, we just learned in this episode, was hanged by the Empire years ago after he tried to defuse a rebellion, situation, and so that's why this episode is called Hang, and the close encounter with the KX unit will probably inspire Cassian to reprogram K2SO, because that's not the actual K2SO. That's just one of those kind of droids. But the former Imperial droid that he buddies with in Rogue One. But that doesn't happen for another few years. So their first meeting is depicted actually in Marvel Comics' 2017 Cassian and K2SO special. So you got to go to the comics for that one. But for now, though, Cassian finds himself sentenced to 6 years in prison for civil disruption. So the judge just like scans his barcode, like, what's his charge? The dude rattles off some charges, and the judge is like, oh man, damn, that's a 6-year charge. Boop boop, and just that's it. Like no court case, no trial, none of that shit, right? So he's just fucked. Anti-imperial speech, fleeing the scene of an anti-imperial activity, attempted damage to imperial property, all of this shit. And this would have been a 6-month sentence, prior to the post-Aldhani heist crackdown, which is Cassian's fault in a way. So it's kind of his fault that this 6-month sentence is now a 6-year sentence. So, but the board, judge sort of notes that, and our boy gets hit with the 6-year sentence. Should have done without the Pizos and Revnog. Yeah, but there was a lot of cool shit, man, in this episode, dude. It was full of Easter eggs as always, and the fallout from the successful heist is being felt across the galaxy, right? So everyone's being watched. No one's on the safe, no one's safe. And we find out that all that is by design, right? So the guy, Lutheran, lets us know. We find out that it wasn't it was that was the plan all along, because Mon Mothma, she's like, listen, people are gonna suffer. This is the Emperor Palpatine is gonna shit an egg roll here. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is bad for everybody. And Lutheran's just like, that was the plan. Because basically it's like this. The Empire has been, this horrible, entity that's been slowly, systematically choking the life out of, the people, out of the Republic, out of everybody. But nothing really eventful, no big, like, they haven't really just like cracked down and gone full on Holocaust or anything like that yet. And so this is right. This is what the rebels, this is their plan. They want to pull that out of the Empire. They want the Empire to go to do what they've always been capable of and have planned to, and it's in them to do. and they just want people to see because that's going to bring more people to the rebellion, more people to the cause. And this is typical with any sort of rebellion in history. We know this. Like even the terrorists, even the Muslim terrorists, is doing the same thing. Is they're when you have a small group of rebels who don't have the technology, don't have the money, don't have the resources of the big government or the big whoever that they're rebelling against, they have to do certain tactics, to get more, to bring people to their cause and to get those resources. And to do that, they've got to change hearts and minds. They've got to get sympathizers. And the best way to get sympathizers is to show everybody what the enemy is really all about and what they, that there's a reason for the rebellion. So it's all very planned out. It's all very calculated.
And it's working. I think it's working because a lot of people secretly hate the Empire. They secretly don't like it.
Right.
When Andor went to see his mother, she let it be known that she was been, like she said, I'm old, but I've been running for a long time. And she was like, I'm ready. And at the end, when he left, you see her pick up her blaster and go to the door. She was like, look, I'm ready to get it on. She was like, I'm part of the rebellion. And that's what the rebellion did. It gave people hope because now you see the choking grip that the Empire put on everybody for one incident. So for one incident, and they were just waiting for that. Like it wasn't like this was just like a retaliation for what Andor and Cassian and them did. They were waiting for something like this to happen so that they could implement their total 100% unequivocal rule on the galaxy. That's what they wanted. That's what they always wanted. But they knew they couldn't just do it out the gate. They had to have a reason.
Right. Exactly. They gotta have a reason. They've got to have something that, a
to
catalyst
justify it.
to justify it.
Yeah, to justify it. But that's their plan. That was always their plan. That was always the Emperor's plan to rule the galaxy with an iron fist. And this just gave him the reason to do it.
Yeah. And really the these we've never seen the Emperor or really the Empire really be so realistically terrifying, like really seeming like this could be in real life kind of thing. So that's what's great about this show is it's so realistic. It's like it's like any real modern day political spy thriller with Star Wars ingredients thrown on it. That's all it is. It's like dressed up. It's got a Star Wars hat on, a Star Wars mask. That's it. But this is real. This is real drama. This is a real script, with a real story, with real writing, and this is official. And that's what I love about it. But he says, he Lutheran told her, my mom, he said, turning back will be impossible. He told her that. And announcement, he said that it was or no, this was the Empire chick. She was like, this is exactly the way I would do it if I was if I was the rebel. Like this is, what they're doing here is that people are treating that heist like it was just a robbery. And that's how the Empire is treating that. And the guy is talking to her. He's like, well, what do you mean? Like, how would you treat it? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, I don't think it was a robbery. It was an announcement, right? It was a declaration of the rebellion is here. Like, we're letting you know.
Right. And we're here to stay.
Right. And that this is official and we can touch you, like letting you know we can touch you. And, this is an episode that deals with the Empire's retaliation to the embarrassing raid. They're embarrassed, that heist embarrassed the fuck out of them and let people know that they could be touched, that, what I'm saying? And so they got to,
and that they weren't, but mostly, Reno, it let people know they weren't afraid.
Right. Exactly. And what follows is a more subdued hour that slowly teases out the inevitable collision between the rebels and the empire, but all while offering the greater, a greater purpose to those who had been left floundering in recent weeks. So, but planet destroying aside, the empire has never felt so real. I mean, no, so like imposing, and like when they talk about the emperor and this, I'm just thinking like, man, that's like, we know the emperor and shit, but remember back when the emperor was like a dude that no one really ever saw or talked to or heard from. And so it was
Right.
like, I mean,
He's still kind of in senator mode. He's still kind of in senator mode right now.
yeah.
Where he makes public appearances in front of the Senate. But once
Mhm.
he declared himself, because even I know I read in one of the time I read a timeline one time, and it said after a certain amount of time, he just did away with the Senate and declared himself supreme emperor
Mhm.
of the galaxy. So he was the Senate, and he put down a law. I forget when it was, man, but I read in a timeline where it was just a point where he just was like, "Look, I'm the emperor, and that's it. Whatever I say, go. We don't even need to talk politics anymore. So the rest of
Mhm.
y'all go back to your little planets and govern them."
Yeah.
And
But that was a dope name drop by, of Palpatine by Colonel Yularen. When she's returning from A New Hope effectively communicates the gravity of the situation, by saying that name. But in a real world prepared with transparent dictatorships and human rights brazenly being squashed in plain sight, it's a startling and timely reminder of how quickly an authoritarian boot can squeeze around the throat of its people. Like this could be done any day, and it wouldn't be shit we could do. And generally, the ISP is given far more time on screen, and every second of that attention is used to good effect. But the narrative shift even allows Deidre to properly emerge as another key player when she spars with Blevin this time. um, Mon Mothma, though it's Deidre who comes out on top, and Blevin, having lost control of his sector, is left to lick his wounds, basically. But it's a short, sharp scene, but one that allows Deidre to finally, take control of her story. Um, following her strong introduction, she's been a passenger to Andor's antics. Um, that whole little scene that Deidre now feels like a worthy adversary, able to trip up the Empire's, best, sharpest mind, while also having the full weight of the emergency measures at her back. But speaking of Andor, he gets a much needed cool down this week after the high octane rush of his time on Aldhani. So he got to kick it, and then it was so it, it was really disturbing. Like, I really hated hearing that he got that 6-year sentence. Like, that sucked. Like, I
yeah,
that
it
that
did. Yeah.
that's because
And
we
and
know
it was
that he's
worse.
like,
It
we know
was
he's
and it was
gonna get out of
worse.
it, but
It
he
was
don't.
worse because the lady was like, "This used to be 6 months. It was
Yeah,
6 years."
exactly,
I would have been
exactly.
like, "Huh?" I'd be like, "Wait."
Oh,
I'd be like,
he
"Wait,
was.
what?"
He was like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah,
what the fuck? I'm just a tourist. Like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
the
Like,
fuck?"
wait, hold up. It used to be 6 months. Now it's 6 years. But it's like you said, he did. Those are the repercussions of what he did, and it's
Exactly.
coming back to haunt him. Just like, but it kind of was like a cliche because in the beginning, um, the one dude that lost his job when he went after Cass, and it was showing the repercussions of his actions. And then
Yeah.
at the end, it just showed the irony of the situation, how the repercussions of Cass's actions got him locked up for 6 years instead of 6 months, and he really didn't
Mhm.
do anything. So they were just showing you the parallel when you watch the episode. They're showing you the parallels of their lives and what's going on, respective to the things that they've done
Yeah.
and how it affected their lives. Moving forward, however small or big it was, it just showed the subtle differences in their lives. So it was pretty much, same circumstances, different situation. You know.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And another loose end that I so do you know what the fuck's going on with Cyril? The dude that he's going to get that job in the cubicles.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The
What
parallels between his life and when you look at it, they're showing a drastic parallel between the two. Um, Different situation, but same circumstance. They're both somewhere they don't want to be.
right, no, I'm saying, but
They're both.
why is he there? Like, what is he doing there?
Oh, that's his job now. Remember the mother called in a favor. Remember when he was
Right.
talking to the guy and he was walking him through on an interview, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
almost ran
No,
him.
I get
And
all
he,
that. I'm just wondering,
yeah,
like, how does this drive the story forward? Like, what does this have to do with the story? That's what I mean. Like, I know
that
it's
we
his
have yet.
job.
Right, that we have yet to see. We have yet to see
Okay.
how it is, but I do know that
So I didn't miss it. That's what
he's
I'm
yeah he's feeling the further repercussions of what he did. Because remember, he told him, "Look, I'm gonna clear my name. I'm gonna,
Mhm.
I'm gonna expunge my record and clear my name."
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Well, you can start right here." But he's at a boring job. He don't want to do that job. He might as well be with Cassius. He might as well be in jail because that's pretty much the equivalent of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's there, and you see the guys walking around, just making sure they're up and they're working. And he's
Mhm.
just sitting in there in a cubicle, punching in data.
Yeah. Yeah, it's clear that the storyline is heading somewhere, but Andor hasn't quite mastered how to weave every disparate story thread into a satisfying whole just yet. Or it's they don't it doesn't sort of know how to do this in each episode, right? So each episode isn't a beginning, middle, and end. This episode is just a beginning of a story. The next episode's the middle of a story, and then the third episode will be the end of that story. I really don't know what Disney Plus is like, why they did. I know why they did it this way, to keep subscribers longer and to keep you. That's it. That's the only reason. This has nothing. Slade, what up, man? Deathstroke this fool. What's going down? Somebody. But yeah, it is what it is.
We got somebody in there.
Nah,
We got somebody.
he out of there. But yeah, Cyril, but yeah, the way that they let's see, 369. So I would have rather this show been 3 hour-and-a-half episodes than these 9, whatever 45-minute deals. Or I guess, what are they? Almost an hour. Yeah, I guess they're almost an hour. So
Almost an hour, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Andor would have been a dope trilogy. Like 3 movies, like the first 3 episodes will be a movie, the middle one will be a movie, and the last one will be another movie. If they would have put it out like that, like 1 movie each week, that would have been dope. I mean, that's the way that the story is being told. That's how it should have been put out, but they didn't put it out like that because they know that people subscribe just to watch a show, and then they let the subscription go. And so if they know if they smash it all into a week or 2, then they think, people are gonna buy the thing for a week. But I don't know.
Some
Who
people
does
will.
who does
Some
that? Like,
people do it. Yeah,
I
some
guess
people do it, Raina.
I guess they do. I don't know why. I wouldn't do it. Like, if it's a streaming service that I fuck with, that's the one I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have it. Disney Plus. I know it's always. I mean, they got a ton of shows. They got all the X-Men animated shit. It's always shit on there to watch, man. So I don't know. That's one of the streaming services that I'll always have on.
Yeah. Well, Disney, like I said before, um, Disney's got to come out with something. Like, look, they put everything they had on Disney Plus. We've seen that stuff a million, 100 times. Do we love it? Yeah. Is it priceless? Of course. Is it timeless?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But if your goal was to bring out Disney Plus to give us new content, to give us stuff, to give us more of what we love moving forward, then do just that. But don't
Mhm.
don't nickel and dime us.
Right.
You know, nigga,
And
diamonds.
there should never be a time when one of these new shows isn't on. There should constantly be running either a Star
That's
Wars
true.
or
Yeah, Marvel.
always.
Yeah, you know, you're right. There should always be new Star Wars and Marvel content.
Yeah, we shouldn't be waiting gaps
Pixar.
between shows.
Yeah, it should always be
That
new
would keep
Pixar
them
content.
yeah, and that would keep them their subscribers. That's what they want. You know, just
Right.
like you said, man, you want subscribers, put out the new content. It's great to have all your Disney classics and all of that shit, but people aren't paying a monthly subscription for that stuff alone. You gotta have the new content. And
That's true.
with the amount of money they got, you know, with the teams they got, the studios at their disposal, they're not just some little streaming service. It's fucking Disney and and Marvel and Lucasfilm and all these huge companies that there's just no reason that they shouldn't have stuff always. Always. There's
That's
just
true.
no
No, they should always. Right. We should always be like, new Disney content. Like you said,
Mhm.
it should always be a dope Star Wars show out. Something, whether it's animated, real, or whatever you want to. It should always be something out. Period.
Definitely.
On Disney Plus.
Yep.
And Disney keeps dropping the ball.
Yep.
But it's like you said, they get your money and they run.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we got some Easter eggs too though on this episode. We got Wolf Yularen, known from A New Hope and the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, made his debut, his Andor debut in this episode, and he tells the ISB officers what measures will roll out empire-wide thanks to the heist. And one of them is a tribute tax, right? So 5 times the amount that was stolen on any sector that harbors that activity, any rebel activity, any activities, right? So using local customs, festivals, or traditions, like they did with the meteor shower, right? That was their local festival, their local little tradition that they used to cover rebel activity, will result in the permanent revocation of imperial tolerance, basically saying that you won't be able to do any of your local customs, festivals, or traditions anymore. Public order resentencing directive. So anything deemed an attack on the empire will be deemed a class 1 offense, punishable by whatever. And then Urine tells them that they spoke with Emperor Palpatine, which was a dope little Easter egg to hear Palpatine's name, who will be clearing the way for ISB to do whatever needs to be done. And then Deidre Miro doesn't agree with these measures. She thinks by doing all of this, the Empire will further encourage people to rebel, and she's fucking right. That's exactly why the rebellion is doing this. So she's right. Luthen and Mothma meet at his gallery. Again, the gallery with the all the cool Easter egg stuff. And she wants to know if if Aldhani was his idea, if he's behind it. And he says no at first, but then he kind of doesn't deny it any further, and she kind of knows. And but they sort of disagree on his methods, but it is what it is. It's done, and this is what he's been planning all along. And but he says we can't hide forever. And
he's right.
He's right. You can't hide forever. So at some point we got to make a move, and if we keep waiting, it'll never happen. So he made his move, and he was right. And Cyril is having his interview at the Bureau of Standards. That's another little nod to some legend stuff. You saw the little mouse droid from Star Wars drive by. That was a cool little Easter egg. Yeah, and then on Aldhani, Cinta is working on her escape as an Imperial Star Destroyer appears and flies over. That was dope. And Vel then meets with Clea to discuss money. Clea wants Vel to kill Cassian. And so Vel.
And now why? I don't understand that part, because I don't know. She kept saying he was a loose end,
right?
So that would make you, the chick was looking at her like, so wait a minute, was you gonna kill us all, or just him? Like,
because she was the only. She's saying that he's not a rebel; he's just a mercenary. That's why he's a loose end. He's not one of us, but he's a mouth. He could talk. You know what I mean? That's why.
Right.
But
But the
Vel
chick was
knows.
like, he ain't no threat, right? Vel was like, he
Yeah.
ain't no threat. Yeah, like
Yeah.
he ain't no. We definitely ain't got to worry about him.
Mm-hmm. Because she knows, she believes in him. Because she after she took time and thought about everything, she realized that he couldn't have been lying about the dude wanting to rip them off and all of that, because and he didn't even try to rip them off, because why would he lie if he wasn't trying to rip them off? He just wanted his cut and he was gonna bounce. And the fact that he was
Because he
so
could have.
adamant, give me my cut and let me bounce because of what dude just did. And so she realized, yeah, he must have really done that because he was spooked. Because Cassian was like, yo, I don't know what's gonna happen in a minute. Like, this shit could all blow up and I'm not gonna get my cut. And fuck that. Give me my cut. I'm out. And he was right.
Yeah, he's right. Because also too, she figured out, look, if he wanted to, he could have came in and killed me, the doctor. The other guy was already dead. He could have took all the money and just left.
Yeah.
He didn't have to wait on nobody. He had a chance to take it all, but he didn't.
Right.
Like you said, he took
Yeah.
his cut and he left. So all I wanted was owed to me. I'm out of
That's
here.
it. Yeah. That's it. And then yeah, Cassian returns home to Ferrix and goes to see Marva and B2 Emo. And that's a cool droid. I like that the rectangle one. He's just
Hmm.
like a fucking box. It looks like a mini fridge. It's so dope because it's kind of like saying, it's kind of I looked at that droid as sort of a slap in the face to the sequel trilogy and their fucking what's the
BB-8, BB-8.
BB-8 bullshit. Yeah. They're like he rolling around on like he's a little ball. Like, no, this is a droid. Like, this is a little metal. He's ugly. He's just square. He's not fancy. He's not. And then I thought about BB-8. BB-8 would be covered in like dirt and soot and just black. He would just be completely covered in crap, like any tire or any wheel, because he's rolling on the ground everywhere. But yet he's still stark white and clean as he. Nah, bro, that shit didn't make sense at all. At all. Because look
He's
at
made out
anything
of
that rolls around on the ground. Outside, he's out in the dirt. He's everywhere. He's rolling all around. But he ain't
well,
got no
BB-8
dirt
is
on.
made out of because he's made out of a special resin that doesn't collect
Special.
dirt or soot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
called
Uh,
Hollywood.
it is. But yeah, man. So we also got to see a flashback. So now we know why they named him Clem. That was something that I always like. Clem. Damn, bro. That's like a messed up name. But his father was named Clem. And we find out that, he was hung by some stormtroopers because a flashback of Clem telling Cassian not to worry about all the stormtroopers. And Clem tries to keep the people calm, but the soldiers see him as a threat. And then back in the present, Merva tells Cassian that she is not leaving. She's not going with him, And I knew she wasn't. I knew she was going to pull that shit. I just knew. But she's going to aid the rebellion here with all the life that she has left, and she's not going to go run off and try to escape. She's down with the cause. And like Miro said in the ISB office, Marva and the others took the attack on Aldani as a signal that it was time to stand up to the Empire, and that's exactly what it was. So it worked. That signal has been heard, and people are ready to take up arms. And in the ISB office, there's mention of Ord Mantell. And this is this. So, Ord Mantell, that's something from the Bad Batch. And this is the system that the Black Sun operated out of this area. In the Bad Batch, Clone Force 99 went there to retrieve Muchi. At Ord Mantell. And that's they sort of little Easter egg there. And Partagaz sides with Miro on her argument with Blevins that I talked about before. She's presented evidence that the rebels are coordinating their attacks. So that's just cool, man, to hear that shit. The rebels are coordinating their attacks and like just all this nerdy, super like geeked out shit that I'm just like so excited over watching this show, man. And then Cassian leaves Ferrix and he goes to Nanos, right? That's where he's chilling. He's chilling and he's kicking it on the beach. And they 6 years, man, 6 years for civil disobedience, and he wasn't even doing nothing wrong. He fit the description. right?
Right.
He fit the description.
And that's all they needed.
Yeah, right. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. It was a dope episode though, man. I like I said, it feels like Star Wars, bro. It really does. This is
Yeah.
the first, like quality Star Wars product Disney's put out since they acquired the license.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
DC is
just
greater than Disney. Oh, yeah, speaking of that, yeah, that's another thing. So Black Adam, man, I can't wait to see this movie. Because so many weird critiques, like so many critics saying that it's the shit, it's so great, but Rotten Tomatoes has it like at 50 for the critics, like it's not being loved by the critics. Rolling Stone magazine, who is the same ones that gave us that absurd hip hop list and told us that Love and Thunder was the best Marvel movie ever, they say that
Mhm.
Black Adam is whack. But I can't take shit they say, obviously. They've just been there's no hope left for Rolling Stone. They're trash. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I don't give a damn about critics anyway. I don't, because too many great films that I love that are dope films, the critics didn't like and all that shit. Because you got to remember, critics don't really care about the thing that they're watching when they're writing their critique. All they care about is how they sound and their reputation and what they're gonna look like.
That's true.
Flying fuck about the
That's
subject
true.
they're writing about, and therefore you're not getting real critiques. You're getting bias. You're getting shit to make themselves look smart and witty and refined and above it all. And fuck the critics.
No, that's true.
You
They
can't
and
be
it's like you it's everybody has their own opinion, and we can't take their opinion as the holy grail for whether a movie's good or not.
right. They're just
Um,
people.
right, just like we are, right? Any one of us can review a movie and tell you what we think because YouTube's full of it.
Yeah,
So
full of people,
you
just
got to see the
regular
movie.
people.
Yeah. Now, when I watched Love and Thunder by Thor, did I think it was good? I thought it was all right. Best Marvel movie? No, by far no. Um, it was watchable. I enjoyed it on my couch, but had I went to the theater to see it, I probably wouldn't have been as favorable,
I
towards
ain't
it.
even. I still ain't even watched it all.
Nah, listen, at home on my couch in the comfort of my living room,
Yeah,
good
I keep
movie.
too.
Can't say nothing bad about it. But if I had to pay money to go to the movies, get me some popcorn, some candy, and watch that, oh yeah, we got a problem now. Now we
It
definitely
was
got a problem.
it was a lot I could say bad about it. Just the little bit I saw. It wasn't good. Like it was bad. Like the jokes were just stupid and horrible and back to back, and they made Gore the God Butcher pointless and just destroyed, Christian Bale's whole performance. Basically made that shit irrelevant. And that was
Yeah,
weird too. That was
yeah.
weird.
Well, they tried to be like Guardians, like you said. You want
Yeah,
to be like
Christian
Guardians? Just do you.
yeah, and not even like they were trying to be super. Taika Waititi was just trying to go do what he did in Ragnarok, the funny little parts that were in Ragnarok, and he just made the whole movie those funny parts. And it's like,
Yeah,
bro, that's not you. When you give someone too much of something, it begins not to be worth anything.
that's true.
Sada,
Hi,
Shata.
hello, hello.
you made
What's
it
up?
just at
What's
the
up?
end.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I just realized the time. I hate that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
it was just about to call it a day. But yeah,
Ah,
Christian Bale said he had no idea what to do on the set of Love and Thunder. He said I had no idea what to do. The green screen on the set, you know what I'm saying? But because he did an interview with GQ magazine, and he said he was like monotonous filming experience. He said that's the first time I've done that. He said, referring to the green screen acting, he said, I mean, the definition of it is monotony. You've got good people, you've got the other actors who are far more experienced at it than me. Can you differentiate one day from the next? No, absolutely not. You have no idea what to do. Love and Thunder was like just it was just so much green screen and just like no sort of substance. The storyline wasn't going. It didn't make sense. He just said I couldn't differentiate one stage from the next, one day from the next. He said he kept saying, "You're on stage 3." Well, it's like, which one is that? The blue one. And they're like, "Yeah, but you're on stage
All
7.
blue.
Which one is that? The blue one." I was like, "Where?" So yeah,
That makes sense. He's worked on so many movies where he's like not in front of a green screen, at least not as heavy as like a big Marvel project. So I know that
yeah,
threw him for a loop. I know that threw him
yeah.
for a loop.
Because but then I think about like Terminator Salvation. That had to been full of green screen. So I don't know. But I
Was
guess it
it? I
wasn't.
mean, or were they still making practical effects with the
It
Terminator
was,
stuff?
yeah, it was back. I did see some behind the scenes, and it was like he was like in the helicopter. It was surrounded by green screen, but the helicopter was real. I don't know if that made it. I don't know.
Yeah, like at least he had some type of environment. Like they literally
Yeah.
CGI Thor's helmet. Like it's that
Oh
heavy.
God.
So yeah,
Ugh.
like his helmet is CG, and I think James is too. So it's a lot. It was very heavy for that movie.
Yeah.
So I doubt he
Yeah.
even had like an environment to work with. It was just a fat screen.
Well, he said I've never quite gotten that thing from actors who I respect immensely who go like, "Oh, you got to like your character." He said, and I'm like, I don't know if they'll like him because I'm not good at liking him. He doesn't like his own character, he said. And he admitted to not knowing what the MCU was when he joined the cast of Love and Thunder. He said, I'd read that and people would go, "Oh, look at this. He's entered the MCU." And I'd go, "I've done what? I haven't entered shit. Thank you very much." He said, I'm like, the MCU, I had to ask what that was. So like, yeah, he was really lost. Can you imagine there's people that don't know what the MCU is? I mean,
Obviously, he's one
Yeah,
of
I
them.
mean, he doesn't do the big franchises like that. Like he swore
I
away
know.
after Batman, so
No. Yeah.
I that makes sense.
Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, guys, that's sort of our show, man. We was just doing the 1 hour deal today. What Nora say? Feels like V had to defend DC
Oh, he's
so
had to defend
much
DC so much.
lately, but in comparison with everything
Um,
else, I shouldn't have
I
to.
know, Norn Rad. It's rough out here. Like I'm here trying to defend every second.
Word.
Titans is coming out soon. I gotta put on my thing for that, but then I gotta call them out if they mess up. It's just so much. It's hard out here, Norn Rad. It's really hard.
It's hard.
It's hard out here.
Oof. It's hard for a DC fan.
Yeah, it's hard out here for DC. Lito's Way said this leaves some high hopes for Harrison Ford. What's
It
Harrison Ford?
does.
He's about to be Red Hulk.
Red Hawk.
Oh
Thunderbolt
Yeah,
boy,
Ross.
Ross.
that's still so weird, but we'll see.
If they put a mustache, they gotta give him a mustache. Like, and I don't even
Yeah.
know. Yeah, gotta have mustache.
Well, they could.
Harris.
Why didn't they just use the original Thunderbolt Ross from the 2000 and I think it was it 2003 Hawk movie, 2000 Hawk movie, the very first one, the one with
Oh, wait, Ang
what's his name with
Nick
Mark
Nolte,
Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. The
Yeah,
Hulk.
because that was
Mark
a
Ruffalo
different.
didn't do a Hulk movie.
That's Mark Ruffalo. What was his name? The one that did the original, the other Hulk
Eric
movie.
Bana. You mean the first
Eric
one?
Banner. Yeah, Eric
Oh
Banner.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nick
yeah.
Nolte.
Yeah.
Why didn't they use
Yeah.
Why didn't they use that Ross? He was already
They said
Thunderbolt Ross.
no. Let's pull to Harrison Ford,
Yeah.
who
Well, who
looks
was
a
that though?
lot older than whatever his age is.
Who
That was
played
my man
Thunderbolt?
from that was he played in the it's on the tip of my tongue. Uh oh man. He played in he played in Roadhouse. Who's the dude that played in Roadhouse?
Patrick Swayze?
Nah, remember he was the dude the old he was Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott.
Oh, Sam Elliott. Yeah, that would have been
Yeah.
good.
Why they just
he
didn't
might
use
be,
Sam Elliott?
yeah, maybe, who knows? Because Sam Elliott might be real rickety right now. Like he might weigh like a pound.
Yeah, what
Sam
does he
Elliott.
look
Sam
like
Elliott.
now?
Yeah, because Sam Elliott was
He's 7. Well, he damn near 80, bro. He got to be
yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
he's
Born in
78.
Lord
1944.
mercy. Now, does he
Jesus,
look
he's a baby. He's a baby boomer.
70 or 80 years old?
Yeah. 1944. He's let me see how he looks. Yeah, oh no.
Oh no. Uh-oh. That reaction is not
Yeah,
very positive.
I got you. Let me show you this one. Pink.
Sam Elliott, he probably look good for his age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if he doesn't look 80 years old, oh.
Thunderbolt Ross.
That's
I
right.
mean,
Oh man.
Arr.
The
I
old
don't know about
man.
that
There you
one.
go.
Yeah, he used to
I
have
don't know about that one.
You know
If
about
they
that
want
one,
to
Silas?
jump to the
I don't
future,
know.
yeah, they can use him.
some gravitas with him. Well, yeah. All right, y'all, man. It has been our 1 hour show. We got to call it a day. New format, all that good stuff. But thank y'all for coming and chilling, man. We'll be back Saturday. Stu's not gonna be here. Hopefully, my Tolkien homeboy is gonna be on, and we'll go deep in some Tolkien on Saturday for DC Day, and we'll definitely be chopping up Black Adam. No, I'm not gonna say definitely. We might do the Black Adam review Monday just to give people some time to see it, and you know what I'm saying. Because people will be like, yo, you already doing the review. Like, let me see the shit first. So maybe we'll do the review Monday. Plus Stu, give Stu some time to see it and come on and chop it up. So yeah, that's probably the plan. So thank you, Slade. As always, peace, everybody. Thank you.
Jeez.
Peace.